Welcome to Infinitia Verity, where we dive deep into history's most intriguing what-if scenarios. Today, we're exploring one of the greatest military what-ifs of the ancient world. What if Hannibal had taken Rome? Join us as we journey through this hypothetical timeline packed with twists and turns that could have reshaped the entire Western civilization. Hannibal's daring journey across the Alps with his war elephants in 218 BCE is legendary. Despite suffering great losses, he defeated the Romans at the Battle of Cannae in 216 BCE, inflicting a blow so severe that it left Rome vulnerable. After this victory, Hannibal chose not to march directly on Rome. Historians debate why he hesitated, but the central question remains, what if he had pushed forward? Interesting fact: Hannibal's army was composed of various mercenaries from different regions, including Numidians, Gauls, and Iberians. This diverse force made his army adaptable to different combat scenarios, a strength that could have helped him during a siege of Rome. Interesting fact: in ancient warfare, Rome's fortifications were formidable. Yet, if Hannibal had managed to breach them using his cunning tactics, the Roman Republic might have collapsed entirely. Had Hannibal laid siege to Rome immediately after Cannae, he might have overwhelmed the city's defenses. The Senate, panicked and fragmented, could have sued for peace. With Rome under his control, Hannibal would have dismantled the Senate and imposed Carthaginian supremacy over the Italian peninsula. Interesting fact: Hannibal had a reputation for being a tactical genius, often using deception and psychological warfare. If he had captured Rome, he would likely have used Rome's own infrastructure, repurposing it for Carthaginian control and administration. Interesting fact: Rome's allies in Italy, bound by fear and loyalty to the Roman state, might have shifted allegiance to Carthage, especially if Hannibal offered favorable terms. This shift in alliances could have drastically altered the power dynamics of the Mediterranean. Rome's expansion was driven by its military conquests and establishment of colonies across Europe and North Africa. Hannibal's victory would have brought an abrupt halt to this process. The Roman Republic, famed for its adaptability and resilience, would have been reduced to a puppet state or perhaps dismantled entirely. Interesting fact: Carthage's focus was trade and naval power, not territorial conquest. In a Carthaginian-dominated world, the idea of empire might have been based more on commerce and maritime dominance rather than land-based military expansion. Interesting fact: Latin, the root of many European languages, might never have spread. Instead, the Carthaginian language, Punic, would likely have become the lingua franca of the Western Mediterranean. Segment 4: A Carthaginian Mediterranean. With Rome subjugated, Carthage would have become the supreme power in the Mediterranean. This change would have reshaped politics, culture, and economics. Carthage's influence, centered on trade, would have led to a Mediterranean world more connected by commerce rather than military might. Interesting fact 7: Carthage was an advanced civilization with a democratic system that allowed its merchants considerable power. A Carthaginian victory could have resulted in a world where commercial guilds and trade federations were the primary forms of governance. Interesting fact 8: Carthage's naval dominance would have continued to grow, possibly leading to earlier exploration and trade with regions beyond the Mediterranean, such as Northern Europe and Sub-Saharan Africa. Segment 5: No Roman Empire. If Hannibal had taken Rome, the world might have never seen the rise of the Roman Empire. Without the Pax Romana, the period of relative peace and stability imposed by Rome, Europe's political landscape would have been vastly different. Interesting fact 9: the spread of Roman engineering marvels like aqueducts, roads, and concrete might have been significantly delayed or altered, changing the course of technological and urban development in Europe. Interesting fact 10: Christianity, which rose to prominence within the Roman Empire, may have faced a different path. The spread of early Christian communities was facilitated by the Roman road network and the empire's common language, Latin. A Carthaginian-controlled Mediterranean could have impeded or diverted the spread of Christianity. Segment 6: The Fate of Western Civilization. In this alternate history, Western civilization would bear the mark of Carthaginian culture. Art, philosophy, and literature might have been influenced by Phoenician and North African traditions rather than Greco-Roman ideals. Interesting fact 11. Roman law forms the basis of many legal systems around the world today. If Carthage had prevailed, our legal systems might have been derived from Carthaginian mercantile practices, focusing more on contracts and trade agreements. Interesting fact 12. The legacy of Roman architecture, such as the Colosseum, the Forum, and monumental arches, might never have existed. Instead, Carthaginian architectural styles, including their massive harbors and fortifications, could have become the norm. Segment 7. The long-term effects. A Carthaginian Rome would have altered the subsequent history of Europe. With a focus on trade and naval supremacy, Carthage might have encouraged a network of trading cities, similar to the later Hanseatic League in medieval Europe. Additionally, Europe might have seen a greater integration with Africa and the Middle East due to Carthage's established trade routes. Interesting fact 13. The concept of citizenship and public service was integral to Roman society. Carthage, being more focused on oligarchic rule by merchant elites, might have resulted in a world where social mobility was linked to commercial success rather than military or civic duty. Interesting fact 14. Hannibal's use of war elephants in battle was revolutionary. In a Carthaginian world, the use of exotic animals in warfare might have continued, with military strategies evolving in entirely different ways. While it's fascinating to speculate about how history could have changed, the reality of Rome's resilience and ultimate victory shaped the world we know today. The legacy of Hannibal's campaigns, however, left an indelible mark on Roman military tactics and the historical imagination. What if Hannibal had taken Rome? The consequences would have rippled through history, altering the course of Western civilization forever. If you enjoyed this journey into alternate history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Infinitia Verity. Let us know in the comments what other what-if scenarios you'd like us to explore. Until next time, keep questioning history.